Season 4, Episode 42 of Bracket, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers. I am Sam Fetterman. That is Jonathan Litzkin. Jonathan, how are you doing tonight?
Well, tonight I'm doing great, Sam. Just specifically tonight, I'm doing great. Not
And
saying
why
I
is
wasn't doing good earlier today, but it was a good night of college basketball. I decided really to only focus on watching two games tonight. I usually have the multi-screen setup going on, but tonight I just focused on two. I don't know why. I just kind of sat down and figured I would. And also Fox Sports doesn't work on my other TV, and which is a problem when the best games in the night are on ESPN.
Yeah. So the first game that you had eyes on tonight, South Carolina and Ole Miss in Columbia. South Carolina jumped from unranked into the top 15 this week, and they backed that up with a home win against the Rebels. What did you see?
I should say 2.5 then, because I watched like half of this game and like most of the UNC and Baylor games. With this one, I've been trying to figure, and I texted you this. I've been trying to figure out for weeks what South Carolina is like good at, because they've been getting all these big wins, and it just seems like they kind of wear you down and scrape out these like physical victories. And then I think you and I both saw the same thing tonight. South Carolina forces you into taking a ton of tough and inefficient shots. They make you take a ton of mid-range shots. They don't let you get to the basket. And that's what we saw tonight. And credit to Ole Miss, who worked their way back into this in the second half by hitting a ton of those tough shots. But South Carolina just played too well. I think they spaced the floor pretty well as well. And then they have a guy who is one of the best passers in the country, I'd say, in Talon Cooper.
Yeah, I think for South Carolina, Ole Miss only attempted 10 threes. And it didn't feel like Ole Miss was getting really anything that they wanted at the basket. So the fact that they were able to shoot 53% from inside the arc, South Carolina should have won this game by more than 3. South Carolina was the clearly better team today. Even though they went 9 for 27 for 3, they won the battle on the glass. They had 16 assists. And they forced a ton of just mid-range tough shots that I thought Alan Flanagan did an excellent job of hitting. But, I mean, the impact that Michi Johnson had on tonight's game, the impact that Talon Cooper has had all year, and the guy who might be the best player on this team right now is Colin Murray Boyles, who...
Yeah, he's been a pretty outstanding freshman. Plays a lot bigger than his size at 6'7", is a pure post player, and it's just super physical. I mean, that's what South Carolina clearly was targeting and going for in their front court. Just these undersized guys that could be super physical, that maybe can switch and guard a couple different positions. And like that's what BJ Mack and Colin Murray Boyles are. And like they do have a 7-footer off the bench in Josh Gray, but he only played 17 minutes. He is clearly not the go-to guy in that front court. South Carolina has a very specific way they design their roster. They have a very specific style, and they execute it really well.
Yeah, I think Lamont Paris has established what he wants this South Carolina team to be, what he wants to build this program around. And I think that he's done a really great job of that at the moment. Because, look, they may be top 10 in the country in KenPom luck rating. Sorry, 12th. They're 20-3. They're 43rd in KenPom. But there's a clear identity here for this team. They want to drag you out. They want to beat you in a rock fight. They want to slow you down. And they're able to do that and pull out these close games against some really good basketball teams that are coached by some really great coaches in the SEC. I mean, Chris Beard, they almost came back in this one. But the fact of the matter is BJ Mack and Michi Johnson combined for 12 points, and South Carolina was the significantly superior team against a team that's probably going to make the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, South Carolina is interesting because, like, you look at their scores and you think, wow, like, what a good defensive team. They keep everyone under 70, and, like, they're just super impressive on that end. What is actually more impressive is, don't get me wrong, their defense is good, but the pace they play at is what you want to look at. They play really, really slow. And, like, Ole Miss actually scored over a point per possession tonight, despite all the tough shots that we talked about them being forced into, and despite shooting the ball pretty well, like South Carolina just plays ridiculously slow. And while their defense is good, I think people will probably mistake it for like elite.
I think it is elite.
You do.
I know that they're 41st in KenPom defense, but
I think it's been really good lately.
they're second in the SEC in defense. They don't foul. They force tough shots. They don't allow you to take threes. They restrict ball movement. They basically do everything that you need to do. They force the 12th, I think, hardest shots in the country of anyone per shot
Yeah,
quality.
that's something you told me earlier.
That's an elite defense.
By the way, just eyeballing it, they've only given up 70 points 4 times this year.
Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, and Virginia Tech.
Yeah. No, I don't know if there is a team in the country this year that has done a better job at playing their game than South Carolina.
Yeah. Just they played like they are one of 2 teams to beat Grand Canyon. They beat Tennessee in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're legit. Like this is an elite defense, an excellent head coach who had some really good teams at Chattanooga. I mean, he won 27 games 2 years ago at Chattanooga.
Mm-hmm.
They went 18-8 3 years ago, 20-13 the year before that. It didn't take him very long to get things rolling. I mean, Chattanooga is not a difficult job. It's probably top 3 job in that conference.
Yeah.
But that's just how good I think Lamont Paris can be. He can get that ball rolling really quickly.
Yeah, I think it's super interesting because, like, as we really get down the stretch here, like, we're not going to stop. I don't think I'd call South Carolina a unique team. Like, every team is unique in their own way, sure. But when we say unique, we're talking about, like, super tough style they'll, like, prepare for that you can't really simulate in a practice setting. I don't think I'd call South Carolina unique, but I do think they're going to be really tough to prepare for on a one-day scout in the NCAA tournament.
Also just think that there's not a lot of teams that just like are physical like that at that size.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know what in terms of physicality, it kind of reminds me of what Quinnipiac does. But Quinnipiac has a lot more.
I think it's tough to
not saying Quinnipiac's better, that they're not, but like it's just in terms
Quinnipiac
of the
is
way
not better.
And Quinnipiac plays super fast, but like in terms of just the physicality, even though they might be a little undersized at the top of the front court, because they can just stack 6'7" and 6'8" guys out there that are just super strong and super athletic, that can really rebound and that can just force you out of your sets. While Quinnipiac does that to speed you up, South Carolina does it to slow you down.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I noticed tonight, specifically in the first half when I was watching them, is I think people are kind of surprised by how hard South Carolina plays. Like they really get after you and make life difficult. And like there are a few teams in the country that defend at the point of attack as well as they do. Anything else on this one?
I mean, I just think that I still think Ole Miss is a tournament team. I don't think anything changes there. You go on the road to a top 15 team in the country and you lose, but I do think that they need another big win. They have Kentucky coming up next Tuesday. They still have South Carolina and Alabama at home. Probably got to win one of those games.
By the way, is your mouth okay? My friend just texted me. He's a little concerned.
I have a canker sore. It's not good.
Okay, that's good.
I got to deal with that.
Aiden, if you're still watching, Sam is okay.
It's not good. Like something's wrong, but I don't know how to deal with it right now. I don't have any canker sore stuff on me, so like there's nothing I can do.
I don't know. You need like what? Like wax or like gauze for that, right?
There's like a cream.
All right. Well, I hope you're okay to talk still because we got a hangover game to talk about.
You start. I'm gonna see if I can DoorDash some canker sore stuff.
What a world we live in.
It's 11:40 p.m.
UNC coming off the big win in the rivalry on Saturday, loses at home to Clemson. It is the Clemson Tigers' just second win ever in Chapel Hill. This was an interesting one because of the way it started. Clemson went on a 15-2 run to start the game and really just established kind of the way it was going to be played. I thought both teams were playing at a pretty fast pace. They were both hitting shots. I thought Clemson specifically did a really nice job on the glass. Out rebounded UNC. Let me see here. 40. It's actually 43. It's actually 43-42 in favor of UNC. But Clemson, I thought, just did a really nice job on the boards overall. You nailed this Ian Shefflin thing early in the year. He is so important for them. The energy he brings when he's on the floor is so vital to their success. And then PJ Hall at times tonight
All
looked
right,
pretty
my canker sore thing's gonna be here in 20 minutes.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right.
Like, what a world. Like, it's just 11:42 p.m. I'm watching St. Mary's 23, Pacific 11 with under 5 minutes left. And I could just order canker sore medicine. Yeah, but Ian Shefflin.
I was watching this. I was watching this tonight. One of the thoughts that crossed my mind: does Jack Clark just like try to find his way onto like every middle of the road ACC team possible?
I mean, to be fair, it's only the second one.
I think Jack Clark likes the thrill of living on the bubble.
He was at LaSalle for 3 years, so like,
yeah, maybe not then.
Regardless of that, Paxton Wojcik playing 22 minutes, highest total of the season.
Why?
I mean, I guess Seth Trimble's out.
True.
But like,
I think that tells you a lot about how important Seth Trimble is for them.
I think that tells you a lot about what Seth Trimble can do for them, because Seth Trimble has a 106.8 offensive rating. That's pretty good. I mean, Paxton Wojcik he was pretty good at Brown. Like, that's it. Like, he was pretty good.
I mean, some guys like some guys when they transfer up like aren't as good as the level they transferred to.
Yeah, and like Elliot Cadeau, they only got 20 minutes from him. Like, he doesn't play. Elliot Cadeau is not a workhorse. He's not a workhorse yet. And they need him to eventually become a workhorse. Maybe not this year. RJ Davis is a workhorse. Number 1 in minutes played in the ACC. That's fine.
I'm in one of those situations that I'm in one of those, like, if I say what I think, I'll be suspended situations.
Say what
with
you
this
think.
UNC team.
Say what you think.
And I want to preface this by saying that, like, Elliot Cadeau was my number 1 freshman in the country coming into this year. Like, I don't know if there can be a bigger fan of the guy that is not a UNC fan than me. And, like, I am a Duke fan. I'm worried about UNC's, like, tournament success playing a reclass freshman point guard.
I get it. I just think that they came out tonight and they got, and like, nothing again. Like, UNC's an old team. Like, they're an old team this year. They're 4th in Division I experience.
Like if anyone can make that work, it probably is them.
But they came out tonight, and Chase Hunter was great. Even though he shot 3 for 12, he had 5 assists. He did his thing on defense. Joe Girard hit 5 threes. PJ Hall hit 4 threes. Ian Shefflin had 11 rebounds. Jack Clark had 7 rebounds. And when you're without Seth Trimble and you have to go to Paxton Wojcik as much as you do, UNC I don't think is deep at all. And I don't think Clemson's particularly deep either. But UNC doesn't have a lot of margin for error. They're deeper. They're deeper than they were last year and 2 years ago, but they're not deep. And I don't think that leaves them a lot of margin for error in games like this, where if you get behind, they're going to stay behind most of the game.
RJ Davis has also shot really poorly from 2 of the last couple games.
Yeah.
2 of 10 tonight, 3 of 11 on Saturday.
Not worried.
Obviously not something that we're going to get worked up about, but just something to point out. He hasn't been as good, and they lost tonight.
No, I'm not worried. I still think this is a top 10 team in the country. That's probably about it, though. I don't.
Oh, Clemson, by the way, Clemson's running some really good actions for Gerard.
No, yeah.
He's
Brownell's
getting a ton of space.
Brownell's running some really good stuff. Gerard is shooting 43% from 3. Best year of his career.
Mm-hmm. Like I saw some flares. I saw some down screens for him.
It's wild what you do when you actually set screens and you don't just like and you don't just like give him the ball and ask him to dribble.
This podcast once again has become a Syracuse basketball rant.
It's wild what happens when you actually set screens and you don't just ask them to dribble or shoot.
Also, like he's just not a point guard, and they were playing him as a point guard.
Shut up. Let's try not to talk about that. Anyway, I mean, PJ Hall is still like an All-American. Like,
yeah,
it's not
like,
as good. It's not as good as it was early in the season, but he's an All-American.
Is he gonna finish? He probably won't finish ahead of Flip, but is he gonna finish 3rd for ACC Player of the Year?
He should finish ahead of Flip.
Oh, I agree with you, but I'm not going to be overly talkative about that for more than one obvious reason to us.
I mean, the question then is like,
I still probably take Salas over him, but
yeah, like that was like I was gonna say is like a Wake guard above him. Oh no, you know who's above him? Benny Williams.
Get ready to learn. Jesus. I'll tell you who's not above him, though. Judah Mintz.
Yeah, no. Judah Mintz is ACC Body Language Man of the Year.
That would be an award he'd win. By the way, Ken Pom has ACC Player of the Year as Flip 1, RJ Davis 2, PJ Hall 3, Baycott 4. What in the world is he doing on here? And 5 Reese Beekman. No Hunter Salas. That's disappointing.
Anyway, more ACC stuff. Virginia's a wagon.
Oh, Virginia's back, baby. Dude, like, I have a plus 500 future on them to win the ACC. It is very much alive now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're 1 game back right now. And it feels like they're playing a lot better basketball than UNC.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually now curious. I'm going to look it up to see what they have been in Torvik over the last month.
It's not quite as high. I think it's like top 10.
That still would be pretty high. Honestly, higher than I expected.
Yeah, they're by the way, guess the St. Mary's Pacific score with 2 minutes left in the first half.
I have CBS on my phone right now, so I won't look down at it. Virginia's 22, by the way, over the last month. I don't think that...
No, but look since January 17th.
Since January 17th?
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to say it is 29... What was the last update you gave me? 25-11?
23-11. There's now 85 seconds left in the first half. Actually, let's wait until halftime, and you'll guess the score at halftime. Are you there? All right, he's gone. But regardless, Let's wait until halftime. You'll guess the score at halftime.
Okay. You said it was 23-11 though when you gave me that update.
I don't even remember at this point.
Okay. Well, I turned off my phone, or at least put it face down, so I won't look at the score. You said since January 17th.
Yes.
On the Virginia stuff, they're 4th.
Yeah.
7-0.
Yep.
Only teams higher.
Trivia time?
Huh?
Trivia time?
Well, I just gave you one.
UConn.
This is the dumbest trivia time ever. The three. I'm not even giving you this one. The 3 teams above them are the 3 teams that would be the top 3 overall seeds in the tournament right now.
Oh. Purdue, UConn, and Houston?
Huh?
Purdue, UConn, and Houston.
Yes. No, actually, dude, Louisiana Tech is 7th. Hello.
Let them cook.
Hello.
Let Talvin Hester cook.
Where's Pacific over the span?
Oh no.
Oh, they're 286th.
Really? That is higher than I thought they would be.
Trivia time. Who's last since January 17th?
Is it Siena?
No, Siena is 359.
Is it Miss Valley State?
It is.
Oh, come on.
Come on, boys. You have to at least put together one good stretch where you're like...
Hey, they took Pacific to overtime on the road.
Huh?
They took Pacific to overtime on the road.
Oh, yeah. That's looking like a real quality loss.
What is Mississippi Valley State's best performance of the season according to Torvik? Let's see.
I don't know. I'm just looking at their KenPom sheet.
Oh my God, they don't have a single game score above a 22. They only have 3 game scores above a 7.
They're 0-9 in the SWAC.
They got a 22, by the way, against UConn.
Hey, that's got to count for something, right?
They only lost by 34.
Jesus.
In a game where Jaden Ross played 17 minutes.
This season,
and Apostolos Romaglu played 6.
This season, Mississippi Valley State has given up 100 points the same amount of times they've scored 70.
All right, it is now officially halftime.
All right. I'm going to call it St. Mary's 31, Pacific 16.
The score is St. Mary's 37, Pacific 19.
Hey, 19's on pace to beat what they got last time.
That is correct. And it's not just on pace to beat it, it's on pace to beat it by an additional almost 50%.
Dude, I love how Pacific scores 19 points and a half, and we're giving them a round of applause here.
That's just... All right, regardless.
Well, you want to talk about some other games that actually took place tonight?
Or yesterday.
Sure.
Miami.
Oh, God. That was a proud program once upon a time.
Once upon 8 months
meaning
ago.
10 months ago.
What were they, top 10 entering the season?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have them nearly that high.
I'm going to be honest with you. The preseason AP poll, everyone got so much. It feels like everyone got more wrong this year than in the past.
I mean, it stunk.
Here, I'm gonna go back and look.
How many current top 10 teams in the AP poll are still top 10 in KenPom?
Hold on. Preseason top 10. Kansas, Duke, Purdue, Michigan State, Marquette, UConn, Houston, Creighton, Tennessee, FAU. Miami was 13th.
I counted 3 teams that are still in the top 10 in KenPom. Am I correct?
I don't even know.
You said Purdue still is. Oh, Marquette still is. So I guess it's 4. Purdue, UConn, Houston. Oh, Tennessee, Marquette 5.
Okay, that's not that bad.
That's not terrible. That's
I mean, USC was 21st. We both had them in the top 10, right?
USC. No, I didn't have them in the top 10. I moved them lower when Bronny had the heart problem over the summer.
Right. I can't wait to do my
But they
top 100
probably would
again.
have been like 11 for me if that didn't happen.
I can't wait to do my top 100 again and just get it even more wrong. Because, like, over the offseason, like, you think you have it. You think, like, you have it all figured out.
Mm-hmm.
And then just, like, Jaden Ledee becomes an All-American.
At least we didn't have to, like, at least we didn't sit around all offseason only for our preseason national champion to lose to James Madison on opening night. That's not a shot at anyone directly, by the way. It's just like, if you had Michigan State as your preseason national champion, what were you doing?
If you have anyone as your preseason national champion, why are you picking a national
No,
champion?
I'm okay with that. Preseason Final Four is where I cross the line.
Yeah. Somebody's preseason national champion. Somebody's preseason national champion is 5-6 in the Big East.
I forgot about that. Although I swear he picked like 4 different preseason national champions.
No, he absolutely did.
All right. Any thoughts? Did you watch any Texas Tech Baylor?
I watched like the last 5 minutes. It was a grind.
Yeah, I had my eye on it a little. Texas Tech made a nice push after Baylor pulled away. Like, I just don't know how to seriously. I should be taking Baylor. Like, their defense. This feels like the exact same team as last year.
Honestly, I don't think they're as good as last year.
Like, I think they are better.
I don't think the backcourt's as good.
They are better in their front court, worse in their back court. Which for Baylor, that's not a good thing because they're very backcourt reliant.
I agree.
Texas Tech, like, despite the loss, like, still kind of buy them. Like, not kind of. I do.
By the way, this is now 3 losses in a row for Texas Tech, and they still have to go to Hilton in 11 days. They have Kansas coming to United Supermarkets Arena on next Monday, Big Monday. That's a big one. That's one because Texas Tech right now is far from a tournament lock.
Yeah, they're like a 6 or 7 seed, probably a 7.
Honestly, maybe even lower than that right now.
I don't remember where I had them, but I think it was a 7.
Because look, Texas Tech has 3 quad 1 wins. They do not have a single quad 2 win. They have 3 wins in the first 2 quads.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a tournament resume.
Right.
I mean, they're good. They're a tournament caliber team. They need to get some wins. They need to get quality wins.
Luckily, you have your get right game against UCF at home this weekend.
That's a quad 2.
Like, I hate to say it, but like, could Kansas freaking win at Glenbrook North High School right now? Like, that team's a disaster on the road. Is Kansas' best road win this year at Indiana?
Kansas is 2-4 on the road. Their wins are a 4-point win against Indiana
and like a slaughtering of Oklahoma State.
A 24-point win at the most uninteresting team in the country. By the way, I did not watch a second of Houston basketball tonight because they were playing the most uninteresting team in the country.
Did it need to? I mean, we know what happens with Houston when they play teams that are terrible.
We watched it for the last 5 years in the American.
What else we got tonight? Did Oklahoma end up getting that win? Oh, by 16. Wow, good for them. Big game for Milos.
Yeah. Milo Suzanne was good. Javian was great.
Waterman going 1 for 5 from 3 and having an offensive rating at 55 is probably not a recipe for success.
No, I mean, when you're without Ali Khalifa, it just makes the offense. I mean, they had 12 assists to 8 turnovers today. This is the team that's 4th in the country in assists per field goal. They play super fast. Like they're averaging 16 assists a game.
Yeah, I think with BYU, it's critical they have both of those guys in the front court, Traore and Khalifa, because they both do such different things, and they're both like kind of like the only guys on those teams that can do the things they do.
Yeah, they're among the only guys in the country that can do the things.
It is really hard for BYU.
They're averaging 20 assists a game.
It's really hard for BYU to do all that dribble handoff stuff without Khalifa. And
they're averaging 20 assists per game. They had 12 today. You don't win games that way.
Yeah, and Traore is like their only threat of an interior scorer.
Traore took 17 twos today.
9 of 17 from 2 isn't going to cut it. Like, I know he's 6'6", and like he's not a typical post player, but they probably need him to be more efficient than that.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think that. I just don't think that I don't think that's their game. Like, the fact is, I think they need to be reliant on that quick ball movement, and I think Traore maybe should. And I think he's great, but I don't know if their best lineups include him. Yeah,
I mean, Khalifa's number 2 in the country in conference play and assist rate. Like, he is excellent for them, despite
he's number two in the Big 12 in assist rate.
Yeah, I think his injury is more of a short-term thing, so thankfully they get him back soon. But their offense completely changes when he's not on the floor.
And then again, like, he only plays 39% of the minutes. Like, they play a lot of minutes without like a true 5, or they'll play Waterman at the 5, and that's fine. Because I think, or a Tiki at the 5, and I think that's fine. Because their best game, their best basketball is played when they're moving the ball quickly around the perimeter, and that's what they can do with Waterman at the 5, and Robinson, and then Saunders, and then whatever.
Yeah.
I still think BYU is good. They're 16-6. They're 4-5 in the Big 12. They're a tournament team.
Mm-hmm.
They're a tournament team that's going to be tough to prepare for because of how fast they play and how well they shoot and how well they pass. But I do not buy the defense one bit. I think that's a bad defense.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on these games?
I think BYU's tournament game is going to be like first to 85 wins.
Could be tournament games.
Yeah, depending on who they play. VCU.
Battle of the Rams.
They've won 7 of 8. They won at Rose Hill today. Their only loss in that stretch is in Olean when they blew a 20-point lead.
And guess who's coming up on Friday?
Biggest game of the year in the A10.
Bigger than the one that was announced biggest game of the year in the A10 like 2 weeks ago?
I think this VCU team is better than Richmond.
I think I probably agree with you. Although I don't think this Richmond team's bad at all.
No. I don't think they're bad. I just think that, I mean, they're kind of, they're not too dissimilar to what the Richmond teams have been in the past because they have the guards. They don't really turn it over. They have the post.
Mm-hmm.
But I think VCU is better. Just like looking at since January 9th. Let's just go to Torvik. Over the last month, VCU
they are 73rd.
VCU's 59th over the last month. Richmond is 70th.
Where are you seeing 59th?
Since January 7th.
Oh, I'm on January 6th. That's why.
You're on what day?
Yeah.
I think VCU is really good.
The
By the way, you know who VCU lost to on January 6th?
Who they lost to on January 6th?
GW.
I don't know.
GW.
Oh my god. Oh, the irony.
VCU plays. Oh my god, they play on Friday.
It's still a zero bid league at heart.
Do you know who they play on Friday 10 next week?
Who VCU plays?
Yeah,
No idea.
SLU.
I heard they've been fun recently.
That's gonna be a bloodbath.
Dude.
Actually, no, it's the SLU miraculously wins and Travis Ford saves his job game.
I'm not sure how much saving he can do at this point.
Yeah, I'm wondering who gets that.
Unless of course the people in charge at Oregon State come and take control there. I'm gonna use that joke for eternity.
Because Wayne Tinkle's gonna be at Oregon State for eternity.
Well, oh my god.
Yeah, it's a big game. Dayton went on the road to St. Joe's today and won.
Yeah, played a great second half.
Officially cementing themselves as the best Flyers in Philly. Wait, the hockey team.
They're having a good year.
Yeah, I was about to say the hockey team's actually good. I can't really say that right now.
I know you used to be. You're kind of like me that you used to be like way more into the NHL, but I have not. I mean, my team has Connor Bedard, and I haven't watched this year.
Dude, my team broke the points record last year, and I didn't watch a single game.
You watched the playoffs, though, right?
Yeah, I had my eyes on it.
I'm more invested in.
I watched the playoffs the same way I watched Texas Tech Baylor tonight. It was on.
That time of the year, my two priorities are search season and Shirley Donovan's accounts
and baseball.
Yeah, that too. Go Cubs.
Anyway,
but
this is bracket good in baseball.
good for Dayton to go and get a road win tonight by 15 with Holmes not playing super well.
Yeah.
Like Santos was the KenPom MVP. He had 21.
Awesome.
Hit 2 threes. He's been spectacular for them this year.
I feel like I haven't heard a ton about Kobe Elvis this year.
Mm-hmm.
If Dayton's going to make a run in March, Kobe Elvis is the piece that people are going to need to know. That's the piece that gets them to the next level.
I just think this Dayton team is so like.
I just here's the thing. They don't play a lot of guys.
Yeah,
they need the best out of everybody in March, and I think Kobe Elvis, like, he can go for 20 on a given night. He just hasn't really done much this year.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he's had kind of a rough stretch in A10 play where he's just not. I mean, but today he was awesome, and not that Elvis has been bad, but like he hasn't really been a focal point. I think that the best Dayton basketball is going to be when Elvis is playing really well.
Yeah, I think overall they're just a nightmare to match up with because you have one of the best back to the basket post players in the country surrounded by one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country. And oh, by the way, that back to the basket post player also shoots threes now. Which
is your happy learn to putt moment.
It's the Adama Sanogo thing from last year.
Yeah, no, it's happy learned how to putt.
Find the tweet. You know what tweet I'm talking about.
The parade one.
Yeah, schedule the parade.
That's one of my best ever tweets.
Yeah, you should honestly have that not bookmarked but pinned.
You know what? I think I'm going to.
You should pin that.
Well, once I get to Amsterdam, I'll pin it.
Good idea. I should honestly pin some of my thoughts about Kentucky and Coach Cal. By the way, congrats to Kentucky, up to 23rd in KenPom now. Still 24th actually. Still haven't fixed the defense, but
104th in defense. They allowed 77 points to Vanderbilt tonight.
I just refuse to believe that you're going to get to the second weekend with 104.
By the way, that is the most points Vanderbilt has scored against a team in the SEC this year. It is Vanderbilt's third highest point total of the season. Name the two teams they scored more against.
You said it was their highest in the SEC, so like
Yeah.
no. Okay. They were in a tournament out in Vegas with BYU, Arizona State, and NC State. I'm gonna say they scored over that against Arizona State.
They scored 67 against Arizona State, but you're on the right track.
So NC State then, because
Yeah,
NC State
NC
lost
State.
the first game to BYU.
NC State, 78.
And then
And
the other one,
you'll never get it. Just throw out a random team.
Tennessee Martin.
You're not far off. It's Alabama A&M.
That's pretty far off, I'd say. Not
really.
Not geographically, but like they don't even play in the same league.
They're probably like within 10 spots of Ken Palm, I would say.
Let's fact check that.
UT Martin's like really bad, right?
UT Martin is 248th.
Never mind. They are not bad.
That is a full 98 spots, my friend.
Okay. UT Martin is 7-4 in the OVC. I am very sorry, Ryan. I hope you're not related to Desmond Ritter.
But by the way,
I know what you're gonna say here.
No, you have no idea what I'm gonna say now. What in the world happened to Buffalo?
George Halkovich happened.
Dude, this used to be a proud program.
Dude, they're 2-20. I don't know how they beat Central Michigan. Their only other win was like some D2 by like 5.
Yeah, Roberts Wesleyan. Who's Roberts?
Who's Wesleyan?
To be fair, like their non-con was tough, but like,
yeah. But do you know the dominance score on Ken Palm?
Yeah, I think so.
2 of the top 12 games happened in the same MTE for them.
That's tough.
Against Hofstra and then against Iona.
Where was that?
Estero.
Okay.
By the way,
guess the
score. Guess the score.
The score of what?
St. Mary's.
Oh, how many minutes are we into the second half?
2.
I'm going to say Pacific has not scored a point yet.
Yeah, they have. It's 47-23.
Well, they have something to hang their hat on.
By the way, UConn now up to something really good in 13th in Ken Palm defense. Thanks to Donovan Klingon today, who had 18, 14, and 3 blocks with 3 assists. It's comical how good he is, how impactful he is. He has an 18% assist rate in Big East play.
Yeah, and like, I mean, we talked about it earlier. They don't even need him to play that much.
And like, they're not like he's not getting to the line like at all. He's getting a brutal whistle in Big East play. 5.5 fouls to 3.6 drawn per 40. Like, that's a brutal whistle.
Yeah.
I think once that starts to even out, once he starts to get really back into rhythm in terms of that, I mean, team's going to be unstoppable.
By the way, the other day, like I just like was thinking about this and I meant to check it earlier. This is completely off topic, but
there is no topic right now. Let's be honest here.
Do you remember the Duke UNC game on Saturday when Armando Bacot hit that like 20-foot jumper?
Yeah.
And I tweeted, I'm like, if he's going to hit that, just like tip your cap.
Yeah.
Well, Jaden quoted it with like, this is a happy learns how to putt moment.
Yeah.
And dude, he's shot like 2 jumpers from that spot all year.
Yeah.
He's one from the left side, 1 from the right side. He's 1 for 5 on top of the key threes. I don't know why he's taking 5 top of the key threes.
I think on that note, we can end the show.
Yeah, I think that's it. All right. Well, if you came
Wait,
here,
wait. Do we need to discuss the events of Manhattan last night?
the events of Manhattan.
Overtang.
Sure.
Arthur
Overtake.
Kaluma. Shouts to the great Greg Waddell for this one. Is he the best bad player or the worst good player?
I think best bad player is probably the way to go at this point.
I have no idea what he was thinking, but he's the only reason this game went to overtime.
Yeah. By the way, shout out Kansas State's ball screen coverage at the end of regulation. I mean, that was just atrocious.
That was such a bad basketball game.
How in the world do you not have anything that remotely resembles help defense on a middle of the floor ball screen?
That was such a bad basketball game, but like it turned really good because Tyler Perry is the clutchest man alive.
Always is, always will be.
Look, if you're just gonna like set a off ball screen for Tyler Perry to be like wide open on the left wing for a three, like he's gonna hit that every time.
It was, but by the way, the best part of that whole thing last night was me going on Twitter at 11:30 p.m. Central Time and seeing Eric Haslam quoting my friend with like 80 Twitter followers.
Then, all right, you can take us home now.
If you came to hear about Tyler Self's job and where he's currently working, came to the right place. If you came to hear about canker sores, you came to the right place.
By the way, I got to pick up my thing from downstairs.
I know you do. And if you came to hear about Caleb Grill, what he's up to, and what's going on in his life, well, you came to the right place. This has been Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers Season 4, Episode 42. We'll see you next time.